Hello. Hello. My name is Lizzie, and I am a woman, a person that struggles with the same stuff that everyone else struggles with. I call it anything that affects your heart, whether it's physically, body, mentally, mind, or wallet, financially. That is going to be what I like to call the hub of the heart. So today we're going to talk a little bit about in just Labor Day, because today is Labor Day. Um, just going to talk a little bit about why labor is so good for your BMW and why we shouldn't steer from it. We should definitely go for it, so we can build that tolerance up and we can get the confidence that we need to move forward and do whatever we need to do. So, full disclaimer, I am not a union worker. I used to be a union worker, but I am not a steward. I am not a psychologist, a gynecologist, pediatrician. I am not a plastic surgeon. I am none of the above. None of the above. I am literally just a person, a woman that, like I said before, has all of these issues that everyone else has. But I want to share some stuff that I've learned, some practices that I do that have worked for me, and some products that kind of help with that process as well. So I'm going to jump right in Labor Day fashion. So the history of Labor Day, did not know this, but I was looking it up. So Labor Day started about the 1800s as a holiday because the labor workers, or the people who work for the government, they wanted to feel like they were, um, um, they wanted to feel like people cared, like they wanted to feel like they, just like a day of just that they're doing something. Oh my gosh, why am I like, I'm like a loss of words. They wanted a little bit of what is that word? Uh, just when someone, when like their boss or their union just looks at them and they say thank you for what you do, for your service. The word will come to me tonight when I'm literally laying in bed and I'm like, oh, that's the word. So if you know what word I'm talking about, please put it in the chat because I'm like at a loss. But anyway, so they just wanted a little bit of not awareness. Oh, spotlight. They just want a little bit of a spotlight for Labor Day. So they basically made it the first week of September. The first Monday in September was supposed to be a day of nobody works, but they did like parades in the street and they barbecued with their families. And it was just basically like a day off, but a good day off to say like, okay, this is because you work so hard. This is your day off. You get to have a holiday basically. And then we made it a holiday, and that's why we're not at work. But usually if you work on the strip, like I used to as a bartender, you would be working double. So that is the awesomeness of being able to just get out of the industry. I know there are a lot of benefits of being in the industry, but not working on holidays and working weekends, that is not one of them. So Labor Day in itself is just taking a break, just taking a break off of just being in the field, working, doing, just working your butt off. But I like to turn around and I kind of like pivot from that. And I think that labor in itself, I don't think that labor intensive jobs are long term. I come from a family where everyone's a laborer. Everyone's a laborer. Everyone's service worker. Everyone's working their whole life. They're working until they're 70 and until they basically die from their lifestyle or they go crazy. That's when they stop working. And then you look forward to your Social Security, which Social Security, as we all know, is going to be coming to an end. So, and it's really not even a lot. It's crazy. I don't know. It's not a lot as much as people think like, oh, I'm just going to start living off my Social Security. It's not a lot. So I don't go into that cycle. I have just I'm just learning how to have just small businesses to where you don't have to depend on someone else to pay you. Yes, it's cool, but you also have to, build your own legacy versus building their legacy. So, um, but I will say that having a labor intensive job, especially when you're starting out in life, like it's good, especially for, for kids who don't have discipline or never had discipline or they don't know. I don't think it's a forever thing. I think once you start doing it, you kind of get wrapped up into that rat race. And that paycheck is good, and then your benefits are good, and then now you're working for your insurance because now you're sick. Um, and you're sick of your life and you're eating bad food and you're doing bad things because you're trying to have a release, like smoking and drinking on the weekends because that's the release, and eating bad food because you're on the go and you're hungry and it's summer and you're a construction worker. But so there is a pretty hard lifestyle that comes with being a laborer. But I do think that it is really good in the beginning of someone's life. So just laboring in general, it's funny because Labor Day, I was like, oh, what if I go into labor on Labor Day? That'd be awesome. But let me show you my belly real quick. Look at that belly. Look at that belly. Right? It's huge. So I was like, what if I go into labor on Labor Day? Like, how cool would that be? How cheesy is that? But no. And then as I started thinking about that, and I was like, oh, going to do a live on Labor Day. Like, well, I'm actually pretty excited for labor and delivery because there's an end, right? Anyone can do labor if they know that there is an end to the madness. So just the reason why I think that labor is really good for your BMW is because it does create that it creates character. Number one, it creates self discipline. It creates like that you can do something and you know that there is an end, so you can continue to do it because that the finish line is coming. So just really on childbirth, I think that it's kind of crazy that our system, the hospital system, which is like we're just used to it as a society. In America, it's like you go to the hospital and the first thing they're going to do is they're going to admit you. The second thing they're going to do is they're going to give you Pitocin. Pitocin is a chemical that pushes your body into labor versus allowing it to come natural. So there's chemical number one, toxic chemical number one. And then when you dilate, it gets you dilated, this and that, and then they'll break your water. But I'm only saying this from a personal experience. And I've had a lot of family members have the same experience. However, when they did my experience, this is very rare that this is happening. Oh my goodness, we need to do this because this is very rare. But yet it happened to every single person in my family. Very rare, right? Anyway, so first chemical goes into your body. Pitocin puts you into labor, gets your body moving. And then once you get into that 10th centimeter and you're about to push, they're going to say, oh, we got to give you some epidural so you don't feel the pain. And you also cannot feel when you're going to push, when the contractions are actually coming. So they'll tell you when to push. So you're very dependent on this whole process. These people, they're amazing people. No offense against the hospital world at all. Nurses, especially nurses. But there is a special natural process that our bodies do need to go through as a pregnant woman to be a mother, because motherhood is hard, and every day you're going to literally want to hit your head against the wall and say like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. But because you remember what that day was like, what happened in that day where it was so hard, but then it was so beautiful. That's what reminds you, okay, I can do this. Labor was way worse than this. They're just throwing a fit and they're just having a tantrum. I can do this. So yeah, that whole process at the hospital, they just take it away, and they can't take anything that we don't give them, right? So just learning the second time, 10 years later, what I want and what I don't want with my labor and delivery. And this is me, and everyone has their own opinion, but I just would like to share just the pros of having your own labor and feeling your own labor. Because I can say that, yes, I did get to 10 centimeters. And then they were like, we're gonna like numb you. And I was like, it was just really bizarre. I didn't know a lot. I was young and I was like, okay. But like when you're saying that to someone, you're like, you're going to push me into labor, then you're going to break my water, and then you're going to give me epidural. It's just like it's a lot. And then when the baby doesn't come when they want the baby to come, like that, it's like, oh, the baby is distressed, the heart rate is up. Yeah, because you're like making me push, and I don't even know when my body should push, and all these chemicals are going through my body. But yeah, but we need to get that baby out, so we're going to cut you. We are going to cut you up, even though you went through this whole process. But now we're going to cut you because it's an emergency at this point. It's an emergency. And don't get me wrong, there are emergencies out there. I'm not going to lie. There are times when the baby does need to come out. I was a C-section because the cord was wrapped around my neck. But there are times where it's not an emergency, and it's really just a convenience, for them. And just, after a certain amount of hours, they're just over it. Everyone's over it. So that's why this time around, just going to try to do this all natural. We are going to labor at home and have a home birth with our midwife, which she's like amazing and beautiful and very knowledgeable, very confident. Her confidence puts ease into our hearts. So it's really awesome. And she has the confidence because she's seen it like over like 700 times. So it's amazing. But no, just laboring on your own in your body, and what your body can handle, that is the most amazing thing in the whole world. So that's why I'm really excited. I'm excited to have that confidence boost of like, I can do this without the system, like I just been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the scar. I am so straight on that. Anything is better than that. And we're going to try something new, you know? So the mental side, obviously, that's the body side of your of being in labor. Obviously, your body, you push your body so far, and you're like, okay, I can do this, right? Of course, we're going to have tools. We're going to use our oils. We're going to use, just exercises and different techniques and things to move my body and get the baby moving and grooving. But we're going to definitely stay away from the toxic chemicals, like the ones that you would get injected at the hospital. And this is one of the things that we're going to use is deep relief. So this is basically like what you would put on your muscles. So obviously when you have your contractions going, it hurts. It really hurts. And, all you can do is just breathe. But instead of, just breathing, you have your peppermint oil, right? Like peppermint is the most amazing oil for everything that you want to have relief, immediate relief. So it's like, it's just having like that icy hot feeling. If you're like, oh, thank God. And then if you're hot, a little bit of peppermint, right? And then the deep relief is going to help us just really kind of move through those contractions, make those contractions really productive so that it is opening the cervix and allowing the baby to come through the birth canal. So without any, like I said, any toxic anything. And then another one that we're going to use is lavender. Lavender is just going to be like, you don't have to be just learning about how our bodies work. I used to think that because I'm anxious, because I'm stressed out, and because I'm so worried about something, it's really effective. It's not. So we're going to work through the contractions, make them productive, okay? But we're going to be calm in the process. And when I say we, I mean me and Ryan, because me and Ryan are a team in this. He's going to catch the baby. So basically my midwife is there to just orchestrate the whole thing and guide us. But she's so amazing because she's like, I'm like, oh, so you're going to deliver the baby? She's like, I don't deliver anything. Listen, I catch the baby. You do all the work. Like I will catch the baby. So it's amazing because she puts all of the just all the glory on you. I'm putting all the glory on God because, hello, I'm putting all the glory on God because I can't do this without God. And that's where I'm going to find the strength. Just a lot of prayer, just a lot of breathing, and a lot of oils. That's where we're at. That's what we're doing. Because I have been chalked up with all of those disgusting chemicals that they give you at the hospital. It is disgusting. And it's crazy because when you go home, so you're in the hospital, like when you have a C-section, it's like protocol, I think, to stay in the hospital for like a couple days. And then once you get home, you're like out of your mind. Like you feel like you're out of your mind. They prescribe you like a pain reliever, like pill. And I remember when I even took those, when I was sitting there, like trying to like nurse my baby and trying to figure out like, what am I doing? Like where, I remember being like high, like I was high. I was just high, chilling, you know, and that's what we do. And then we're sitting there once we're done being high, from everything, and coming down and detox, because you have to detox that stuff out. You got to detox it. It's not like it's going to go somewhere, and it's just coming out of your breast milk. It's just coming out. But as I was sitting there, I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm so depressed right now. I am so depressed. And I totally get postpartum. Not even kidding. Like, I know that that's a huge thing. It's very valid. This and that. Me personally, I didn't have postpartum. I was depressed though. I was really depressed because my body had just gone through this crazy change, right? Someone just cut me open, gutted me. And they just chalk you up with all of these disgusting chemicals, and then they shove you home, and you're just sitting there and you can't move. You have a C-section, so people still have to help you as if you're like 9 months pregnant still, and then you're taking these like pain relievers, and you're going crazy. I was going crazy. I was like, this is what this feels like. This is what we're doing right now. Okay, awesome. And I just said to myself, I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it again. Over my dead body, like, knock on wood, Lord give me the strength. But like I'm gonna find another way. And I did. And I started researching, I started doing other things. Mind you, it's 10 years from that time. But now I have the confidence because I know more. And when we know more, we do better, right? So that's a little tangent that I just went on. Sorry, but I just had to share that because there are a lot of women out there that are just scared to do the opposite of what society wants us to do, because society wants to keep us scared. They want to keep us dependent on them so that there's more control there. And I get it. When you do need help, you need help for sure. And our society and our state should be able to help us when we do need help. But when you are just being independent and you're being a good mother and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and when that doesn't coincide with what they want you to do, then that's when the whole manipulation and all that weird stuff comes in. So, and I saw that firsthand in the hospital. It's crazy. And it wasn't just me, and it wasn't just one other person or two other people, three other, it was crazy. Like, a lot of people in my family, it happened the same exact thing. So I just want to empower women out there to just look into other options. There has to be other options. And the biggest thing is, we have to remember that, okay, so God made a woman's body to have a baby, right? Did God make Pitocin? Did God make epidural? No, man made that so that man can make money off of that. So you can be dependent on that drug. You know what I mean? So just getting back to like what God made. So God made plants, right? God made peppermint plant. So that's what I'm going to use in this process. So yeah. So that's your body, mind. Obviously, when you go through that endurance race, you have such a better opening, like, mind, about what you can do, what you cannot do, which you can do anything literally, because your mind is going to give up before your body will. So we have to just make sure that we are in the right state of mind, when we are going into like labor and doing all of that good stuff, and know that if you do need to go to the hospital, or you have to go that route, then don't get down on yourself, but like try as hard as you can to get your body and get your mind, everything ready for it, and that's kind of where I am. So I just want to share that. I have a couple of friends that are pregnant right now, so it's really cool to be able to, motivate them and just be accountable with them and just be sisters. Wallet wise. So when you do, you labor and you go through that whole race, um, you do have more self confidence, which means that when you have more self confidence, I don't have to prove to you that I have more self worth with my bling or with my clothes or with this and that and this and that. Like, I am number one person that I don't buy like fancy things because I don't know, I just don't need it. I feel like it's kind of like a waste of money. I'd rather buy something. I'd rather go on a trip, to be honest with you. But when you do have that confidence that your body and your mind did something that was crazy, but you did it and you got through it and you're on the other side, that's when the confidence level is like through the roof. And you're just like, I can do anything. I can literally do anything. Not like super big headed or whatever and prideful. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just that quiet confidence of like, I can literally do anything. That's scary. That's scary. I'm not scared of anyone. I'm not scared of anything. I could literally do anything. So when you have that confidence, you don't have to buy stuff and show people how amazing you are and do this and do that. And you don't need that. So that's when it saves you money. So just touching on laboring your body, whether it's in childbirth or in the field, and how it affects your body, mind, and your wallet. It's all good. It is all good for all of that. So when you ever get into that situation where you're like, I can't do it, I'm going to give up, I'm over this, just know that you can do it and you're going to feel 100%, 120% bigger than you are right now when you get through this tunnel. So that's all I have. That's all I wanted to share. Um, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to labor in probably a couple weeks. Due date is towards the end of the month, but this baby is huge. So we'll see. I mean, whatever God wants, I'm excited for. And I'll probably like document it a little bit and make like a little like censored montage of it because I think it's just awesome. Like, all right, you guys have a great day. All right, bye.